Hey everyone, welcome back to Age and Education channel. Today we shall look into human digestive system. So what is this digestive system? What does it do? Why is it so important to have the digestive system? Digestive system helps us to derive energy from the food we eat. So whatever food we eat, we have to get energy from that, right? So to unlock this energy from the food, okay, it means that it helps our body to get the energy from the complex substances that we eat. Whatever food we eat, almost we eat only the complex substances, so our body won't be able to use these complex substances. Okay, so these substances have to be converted into simpler forms. What is it? Simpler forms. Only then our body can receive the energy or can extract the energy from these simpler forms. Okay, so always complex substances have to be converted into simpler forms. Only then our body will be able to absorb energy from the food. Okay, so for this, the process of digestion helps, and digestive system involves many parts. Okay, so we will see one after the other. First of all, it is very important to understand that there are a chain of organs that are involved in digesting the food. Okay, so what are those? The main organs that are involved are mouth. First is mouth. Okay, so here I will write first mouth, and then yes, esophagus. Okay, and then comes stomach, then small intestine, then large intestine, and then comes rectum, and then comes anus. Okay, so this is the chain. Our food, whatever food you keep into your mouth, will have to pass through all these stages. Okay, it will be processed in mouth, and then in the esophagus actually helps to deliver the food that you eat to the stomach, and from stomach the food passes to small intestine where the majority of digestion takes place, and then it goes to large intestine, and then rectum and anus. Okay, so through the anus the food will be the waste, that is the product after all the nutrients are absorbed from the food, will be passed out of the body or expelled from the body through the anus. Okay, so I know that something is ringing in your mind, right? Then what about liver, gallbladder, salivary glands, pancreas? Why are all these mentioned in this, right? These are mentioned for a purpose. What did I say? These are the main organs that involved in the process of digestion. It means that the food actually passes through all these organs, but the other accessory organs, okay, there are some other accessory organs, means the organs that help the main process. Okay, so these accessory organs are salivary glands, next gallbladder, liver and pancreas. Okay, so we will look into all these. What are the functions of all these organs? Okay, let us see one after the other as how the food passes from the mouth and what is its journey till anus, and how these accessory organs are helping the process of digestion. Okay, so the journey of the food starts from mouth, right? So when you put the food into the mouth, it should start moving along the esophagus and then to the stomach, then to small intestine, large intestine. At last the wastage is stored in rectum and is expelled through anus. So first we should see as what is the role that is played by mouth in the process of digestion. So the cavity that is inside the mouth is called as what? Oral cavity or buccal cavity. What is it? Oral or buccal cavity. And what are the other organs that are involved in this process of digestion with respect to the mouth? Those are, yes, you know, right? Teeth. You always chew the food with the teeth, using the teeth. And apart from that, you have tongue to assist the process of digestion, and also salivary glands. Okay, salivary glands are the accessory organs, and it helps in what? It helps in releasing, secreting saliva. Saliva, it plays two roles. What are those? One role is that it helps in making the food wet. Okay, so it moistens the food. Okay, what is the other function that saliva does? It has an enzyme called as salivary amylase. What is it? Salivary amylase. Okay, what does it do? It actually helps break down the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the complex food form. Okay, it will be broken down to glucose. Okay, salivary amylase helps in for this purpose. Okay, next, how about the teeth? In what way this plays a role in the process of digestion? It is that with the teeth you chew, right? So this process of chewing the teeth, wherein your teeth will be moving, your jaws will be moving, and everything comes under the process called as mastication. What is it? Mastication of the food. Okay, during this process already the salivary glands will be releasing the saliva, right? So the food gets mixed up with the saliva, and for this the tongue helps. Tongue also has some some functions to do. What is it? First thing is that it helps in this process of mastication and mixing of the saliva with the food. Okay, and apart from that, it pushes what? It pushes the food that you are chewing to into the pharynx. So what about this pharynx? It has come in between, right? You're not seeing it anywhere. Okay, so pharynx is a pipe type of thing, a Y-shaped uh, tube like of thing. Okay, and it has some role to play, not only with regard to the digestion of the food but also as part of respiration. We will see into that. Okay, so this will be at the end of the mouth, buccal cavity. Okay, so following the process of your food being chewed and forming a moistened ball of food called as bolus. What is it? Moistened ball of food called as bolus. Okay, till this the mouth covers it, and after this our tongue will push this moist ball of food called as bolus into pharynx. What is it? Pharynx. Okay, now pharynx has some work to do here. We will look into that. So what is about pharynx? As I have mentioned, pharynx is Y-shaped tube, right? So what is this Y shape? See, it will be like this, something like this. Okay, I'm not so good at drawing, but I hope you got it. Wait, I'll give you a clear picture of it. Okay, like this, and here it is connected to nasal cavity. Okay, and here it is connected to oral cavity. So what happens? Food enters from here and air enters here, and this is called as pharynx, and it handles what? Even this is pharynx. Okay, but this is like it this is a tube that mixes up or takes up both food and air. Okay, and from here again the pharynx, what it does is it will allow the air to enter into larynx from here and food to enter into esophagus. Okay, so food enters esophagus from the pharynx and air enters larynx. Okay, so you may get a doubt as how is it possible, how our body differentiates between the food and air. It's like maybe the food can even enter larynx, right? But see, if you have food in your larynx, then just imagine larynx will be connected to lungs and have dangerosities, right? So our nature has all answers, right? So there is a gate sort of thing called as valve. Okay, if I have to mention the name, okay, if you are interested, it is called as epiglottis. Okay, that valve prevents the food from entering into larynx. Okay, so it will allow only air to enter into the larynx. That is the very reason people say that you should not speak while eating the food. It is because when everything is acting in combination, accidentally some particles of the food may enter larynx and it is very dangerous. Okay, so that is the reason it's true that you have to avoid speaking while having the food. Okay, then we will get back into the digestive system. You understood the role of pharynx, right? So it handles not only the what? Yes, food. It will also handle the air. So it has its work in the digestive system and also respiratory system. Okay. Now the food enters what? Esophagus. So don't get confused with this. OE and OESO is fine or ESO is fine. Okay. So I prefer to go by this. So the food enters esophagus. And what does esophagus do? You see here, it is a tube, right? One thing you have to remember is that in esophagus, you don't have any process of digestion to be taking place. Then what does it do? Why is it inside? Why is it part of the digestive system? It is because the food, it performs a function that the bolus, that is the moistened food from the pharynx, will be uh, taken to stomach by the esophagus. And how is it done? It is done in the sense that esophagus is a long tube, right? And it has a rhythmic motion, rhythmic wavy like contractions that allow the food to move from top to bottom. Okay, and then at last it enters the stomach. So what are these motions like? Like these contractions are like, so when the food is here at the beginning of the esophagus, right, there will be a contraction here, and because of this contraction the food slides down, this bolus of food, right, and when it slides down it comes down, and again there will be, for every equal interval of time there will be one contraction, and because of this contraction the food will come down and eventually end up in what? Stomach. Okay, so and stomach now starts playing its role. Let us see about it. Okay, so the food enters stomach. From esophagus the bolus enters stomach. Here what happens? First of all, what is stomach? Stomach is a muscular bag, and where is it present? It is to the left side of the abdomen. Okay, next, in what way this helps in the digestion? Stomach releases left side of abdomen. Let me complete this. Okay, so where am I? Yeah, so the stomach releases what juice? One sort of digestive juice or gastric juice, whatever you may say. Okay, gastric juice, and it has what? It has some digestive enzymes. Okay, digestive enzymes, and also it has hydrochloric acid. Okay, and also it has mucus. So what about all this? What are digestive enzymes? What is hydrochloric acid? What is mucus? Okay, every component of it has some or the other role to play in the process of digestion. Okay, what happens is that first of all the bolus that we have received from the esophagus, that will be mixed thoroughly with this digestive or gastric juice. Okay, and it is churned in the stomach. Okay, so what does this digestive enzyme do? These enzymes help in the process of digestion. Okay, it helps the food to be broken down into simpler forms. As I have mentioned earlier, the food has to be broken down into simpler forms for our body to absorb. Okay, so this is done by the digestive enzymes. Then how about hydrochloric acid? If this is done by digestive enzymes, what is the role that hydrochloric acid plays? It does two things. What is that? First thing is that it kills the bacteria that is present in the food. Okay, and apart from that it also activates the enzymes. What is it? Activates the enzymes. These enzymes will be activated because of this acidic juice. Okay, then how about the mucus? So you are saying this to be acid, and acid burns, right? So when our stomach is releasing acid, then that acid may may destroy the inner laying of the stomach, right? You may feel like a bit of burning sensation without some protection, and this protection is offered by what? Mucus. Okay, so mucus will form a protective layer in the inner side of the stomach, so that the effect of hydrochloric acid won't be there, like the bad effect, the ill effect. It means that a burning effect that is present because of the acid can be avoided by the presence of the mucus. Okay, so all these together will help in the process of digestion, right? So after all these acts, what happens? The food I have mentioned will be mixed with the digestive juice, and then what happens? The resultant acidic product that is formed is called as chyme, right? Why is it acidic? Because there's hydrochloric acid. So the bolus is mixed with the gastric juice, and so overall it is churned, and the digestive enzymes act on it. At last what you get is chyme. And what is chyme? Chyme is, what is the nature of chyme as such? It is acidic, right? So in the stomach we have this protective layer, mucus, but once it comes out of the stomach, then there is no mucus, and again the body has to do something, right, in order to protect itself from the acidic nature of the chyme. Yes, so there comes the other organs. We will see about it. Okay, so just think, you have to admire your body as such, and so you should also even take care of your body. See, everything is so well coordinated, and if we adopt such sort of lifestyle, then it's like very good for our development, right? So such a nice coordinated system we have, so let us protect it and be conscious of what you are eating, what you're putting in your stomach. Okay, next, as I have mentioned, what is next? The chyme is acidic, right? So this has to be neutralized. Neutralized means its acidic nature has to be taken off. Okay, so for that, bile juice is useful. So what is this bile juice? This bile juice is secreted by liver. What is liver? Liver is another accessory organ, as I have mentioned, that there are some accessory organs that helps the process of digestion, right? So the liver is one of those organs, and this liver will be to the right side of your body, and it will be just above the stomach. It is the largest gland in the body and secretes what? Bile juice. And this bile juice will be stored in, this is liver, and it will be stored in the gallbladder. Okay, so what about bile? The bile is alkaline in nature. What is it? Alkaline. It means acidic and alkaline are opposites. Okay, so when these two combine, what you get is a neutral product. A neutral product means your body won't get harmed, right? If the chyme is allowed to just pass, then because of its acidic nature, all the organs of your body, the track of the digestive system, will be badly affected. So we have to neutralize it, and this is done by what? Bile juice. So what does bile juice do? This bile juice, because of its alkaline nature, it will help the chyme to turn to neutral. Okay, so it neutralizes the chyme, and apart from that, it does something else too. What it does is it breaks down the fats, okay, into smaller particles that will help in the digestion. Okay, so this is about the bile juice and about the liver. So what does liver do? Liver secretes the bile juice, and it will store it in gallbladder. Okay, and this is secreted into the from stomach. The chyme enters what? Small intestine, right? In the small intestine, you can see that this bile juice will be put in. Okay, whatever bile juice that is made by the liver will be into the gallbladder, and it is put into the small intestine, and where the chyme gets into mixes up with the bile juice, and the rest of the things will happen. So you understood, right? From the stomach the food enters what? Small intestine, and as soon as it enters the small intestine, the gallbladder will get ready in a way that it has to put the bile juice into the small intestine so that it gets mixed up with the chyme, and first of all it neutralizes it. Okay, and also it also breaks down the fat, and apart from that, in small intestine some other thing will also be released. It is done by what is the other thing left of? Pancreas, right? So pancreas will release pancreatic juice. Okay, and it has some enzymes that help in breaking the complex products into the simpler forms. Okay, so what is all that about? It is like the carbohydrates will be converted to glucose. Okay, then proteins will be converted to amino acids. Then what happens? And also don't forget about fats. Fats will be converted into fatty acids and glycerol. So all these are facilitated by this pancreatic juices. Okay, and the pancreas also release this juice into the small intestine, and all this will happen. Okay, so nice. In the small intestine what's happening? All the bile juice that is made by the liver and is released by the gallbladder, and also the pancreatic juice that is made by the pancreas will also be put into the small intestine, and apart from that, the small intestine also secretes intestinal juices. Okay na? Oh sorry, intestinal juices, right? Then what about this intestinal juices? Do you have any idea about it? I can definitely say that you won't have any idea about it, but here I am to clear that up. Okay, these intestinal juices will have some enzymes. So you may think that why do we need more enzymes? We already have these pancreatic juice to help us to convert all these carbohydrates into glucose and all that. No, the body is not so simple that with one thing you can suffice all the needs. Okay, so our body has some need, and that need is taken care by the intestinal juices, or the juices that are released by the intestine, and these will have some enzymes called as peptidase and sucrase, lactase and maltase. Okay, so all these enzymes also will help in the same, like what? In converting carbohydrates to glucose, proteins to amino acids, and fats to fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, so the process of digestion takes place in the small intestine, and it is like what do you call, substantial amount of digestion takes place in the small intestine. So now what is the other function that small intestine has? It's good that the complex things have been broken down into the simpler forms. Okay, but how about this being passed to the body? That is also important, right? Just convert just conversion of simple the complex things into simpler forms is not enough. That should be absorbed by the absorbed by our body. So how does it happen? Here comes what do you call the process of assimilation. What happens here is that in the small intestine you can find small hair like things. Okay, they are called as villi. Okay, these villis will be of this form, and they will be attached to the blood capillaries. Okay, these blood capillaries help the nutrients that have been released, or what do you call, because of this conversion into the simpler forms. All this food, the nutrients in the food will be pushed into the blood through what? With the help of villi and blood capillaries. Okay, and the surface area of the small intestine will also be increased by this villi. Okay, you will find the entire intestine will be like this, okay, with the villi. Okay, so from this blood capillaries, all the nutrients will be sent to the blood, and the blood, it circulates all through the body, and it will supply all the nutrients to the cells. Okay, so this is how the assimilation happens in the small intestine. So small intestine not only helps in digestion, it also helps in the assimilation of the nutrients, or I can say absorption of the digested food will also be taken care by the small intestine. Okay, so how about the structure of the small intestine? This is small intestine. Where is it? First of all, it is here. Okay, all this coiled part is there now. This is all called as small intestine. Okay, and this will be roughly around 6 to 7 meters long. It is the longest tract of the digestive system. So there may be a question saying that what is the longest part in the digestive system? The longest would be the small intestine. Okay, next, how about the large intestine? Then you are saying that the food has been that all the nutrients are already absorbed via the villus of the small intestine. Then how about the large intestine? What does it do? Now whatever has happened, there will be some food left, right? The, what do you call, it will be like very near to be called as waste. It means whatever our body needs, it has already taken, it has digested whatever it wants, and it has assimilated, and the rest of the food will have a little bit of things that are important, and rest of it can be said to be waste that can be expelled out of the body. So at this stage, the food enters the large intestine. This is the large intestine. You can see this has more width, right? So it is wider than the small intestine, but shorter. Wider but shorter. Okay, here what happens? Here also you can say that in the large intestine, there will be absorption of the water. So in the food, after all the happens, the food that passes into the large intestine, there will be some amount of water left, and also some amount of salts left. So the absorption of water and salts takes place in the large intestine. And after that, what happens? After the water and salts are absorbed, it will be, the rest can be considered as waste, right? Whatever, because we have derived everything we want from the food. We are done with the nutrients, and now in the large intestine we are done with water and salts, everything, we took off everything from the food, and so the food now can be considered as waste, and this waste is stored in the rectum. Okay, so it is a sac like structure, and all the undigested food material, or you can also say it to be feces, is stored temporarily in rectum, and it is expelled out through the anus. Okay, so this is about the human digestive system. Now I hope everything is clear. I tried to make it as easy as possible. But if you have any doubts, any further doubts, you can put it in the comments. I'll surely come back. Okay, so this is about the mouth. What do you call, the food enters the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. And the assisting organs will be liver, gallbladder, salivary glands, and pancreas. Okay, see you in the next class. Bye for now.